episode, and I am more than delighted to have this episode here today. And today we are going to look into savings. I know we know about saving, like savings, maybe it's something, the money that you're left with as change after you've done your shopping, after you've decided to this and you are left with some money. But in this particular instance, we are talking about savings as money set aside for future investment, and we are doing this with this mindset that this money we are setting aside as savings, we are going to have it invested somewhere, and this money in future it shall be giving back a return to the investor. So I know, or you wonder, why save? There are many reasons as to why one may need to save. But before I go into that, I want to say that one ought to have at least a number of savings accounts. Maybe in this instance, I'll talk about 3 of them. And these 3 that I'm focusing on here today, one is the emergency fund savings. Number 2, the retirement fund. And also, I'm calling the third savings account as a holding account for investment. So, and I believe each and every one of us, we ought to have at least these 3 accounts that we have set aside to make sure that our financial wellness is taken care of, And for emergency fund, it doesn't matter how much you may decide to put aside, but the good thing is, or the point that I want to put forward is, make sure you are putting something aside for your emergencies. Maybe even 2% of what you earn. Even if you earn 10,000, put aside even if it's 200 or 500 every month, such that if in case an eventuality arises, you are able to cater for such an emergency, and you won't have to go into debt to pay for such eventualities that may arise. And for retirement fund, remember, we say that we won't remain as strong and as energetic as we are today, and we ought to plan for our future, for our retirement. And by so doing, from your constant income, monthly income, put something aside, maybe to a figure of 5%. This will go a long way. Build up that fund, and by so doing, you find suitable investment opportunities where you can invest that money or put that money, and that money be earning for you for the number of years that the money will be in that fund. And for the holding account, this is the account that you set aside, that I am putting this money aside each and every month or every time I get my pay. And we all know that opportunities arises mostly when least expected. Like, you just find somebody with an emergency, they really need cash, and upon verification, when you do your due diligence to ascertain whether the asset or whatever it is you need to buy is legal, is legit, it has no faults, you already have money set aside for such. And in the course of time, you end up having an investment portfolio, an asset portfolio that you accumulated over time. Remember, it is the baby steps that matters. It is the baby steps that matter. So maybe you ask, why save? And I am going to answer that, because it's very important for each and every one of us to have savings, and we need to really have this savings account going for each and every one of us. So we save for a rainy day, we save for a rainy day. And for one to save, remember, each and every one or every person have some goals that they want to achieve someday. You want in future to have a car. You want in future to have a good home. You want in future to even buy that designer dress, and it can't just happen. It can't just happen. So we save for the financial goals that we have, for investment goals that we have. Remember, without savings, you are not going to be able to achieve these goals that you have set aside or you have set forward. So we save to meet our financial goals. The number two thing, that the reason as to why you want to put up your savings is for your financial freedom. Remember, you want to have this life where you are independent. You do not have to rely on support from family or any other relative. You want to be able to be independent. You are able to take care of your expenses. So you need to put aside some savings, and with these savings, it's what is going to you invest it well, and in the future it is going to give you this financial independence that we are all yearning for. Number 3 point as to why you really need to have this savings account going for you is to choose the future you want. Remember, future you want or the lifestyle you want. Remember, if you want to live in that estate that you so much desire, you got to have cash. You got to have some savings going for you, such that the savings you have, if you add the income you are getting from your savings plus your regular pay, you'll be able to meet all these expenses that comes up. You'll be able to support the lifestyle that you so much desire. So you need to have these savings. Also, we save to meet emergencies. We all understand that emergencies do crop up when you least expect them. So if you do not have a savings account, your life will be taken off balance. So you want to have a savings, and this savings is what we are calling the emergency fund, to meet all these expenses as they come up. So you ought to have a savings account. Also, another reason as to why you need to have your savings account is to uptake future investments. We save for investment, or we save to invest. So this is the money that you are going to utilize and commit this money to those profitable ventures that are going to earn you an extra stream of income going forward into the future. So you really need to have this savings account. Another reason as to why you need to have your savings up and in shape for better relations. You're there, your family. If you have not paid for school fees for your kids, I'm sure there won't be joy in that home. So you really need to have that savings account. Once you get your regular pay, you put aside some money to cater for these expenses. Also, as a man, you want to see your family looking well. You want to see your wife with a nice hairstyle. If you do not have these savings, how are you going to do that? So you really need to have your savings account. So how do we put up this savings account? Maybe you ask, and there are a number of ways that I can suggest or put forward, and you can add more to this. And one of the ways on how one can build a savings account, one is by having a budget. Have a budget. Before you get that regular pay that you get every month, have a financial plan committing or tasking each and every coin that you are going to receive. And by this I mean you categorize your expenses as have those expenses that you consider to be basic, have the other one that it's not a must, and also in this budget you will budget for your savings, that this is the money that I'm putting aside for my savings, for my emergency fund, for my retirement. And by so doing you accumulate this savings account, and they will lead to a life of where you have financial success. Another thing, pay yourself first. When you receive that money, do not end up paying every other person, and then whatever you are left with is what you put as your savings account. That could also mean if you utilize all the monies and you are left with nothing, it means you end up not having any money into your savings account. So when you're paying yourself first, you make it to be a habit that I'm putting aside this money to my savings account, and by so doing you build these accounts and they result to a good savings account and leads to financial health, a future healthy financial life. Another thing that will help put up your savings account is by clearing debts. Clear off these debts that you do not need. When you do so, remember, when you have borrowed, you pay back this money, the principal amount borrowed plus interest. When you are able to clear off these debts, it means that you have more money at your disposal that shall be channeled to your savings account. So make a point of clearing the debts and also not borrowing those expensive debts. Remember, debt, if not controlled, it can mess up your financial life. And also, maybe just a caution, we are talking about having an asset portfolio, having a good savings account, not a portfolio of loans. Like you have borrowed from A, B, C, and all around. Like you have a portfolio of loans. So make sure to offset all these debts, and by so doing, you have more money that shall be channeled to your savings account. And then another point, as I come to a conclusion on this, make savings a lifestyle. Make savings a lifestyle. When you make it a lifestyle, anytime you receive any pay, anytime you receive that extra cash, you know where to take it. If you get an extra cash, you already had your budget and your budget is well taken care of, it means this is extra money at your disposal that you take to your savings account, and this is the money you continue to build your savings account, and this money you end up taking investment that add to your income. You add another stream of income. Also live within your means. This one can never be overemphasized. When you live within your means, you have that inner peace that I have lived within what I am able to earn, and by so doing, you also have a savings. And when you get that extra cash, you take it or channel it to your savings account, and you do not end up having many loans all around. So that's what I want to put across about savings. So we need to have our savings account going, and what I always say is that start small, start now, and let it keep going. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope we are learning together. And thank you so much that you always appear into this space, and I feel very much honored to always have you come learn from this channel. Thanks so much for watching. I kindly want to ask you to like this video, to subscribe to my channel, and let's share and call our friends and family so that they come and we get to learn together and we make it this journey to financial freedom together. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next episode. God bless you.